Emmanuel Leutze, a German-American artist, was a man captivated by the American spirit and its founding principles. His monumental work immortalizes a crucial moment in American history as General George Washington and his troops crossed the icy Delaware River on a cold Christmas night in 1776. Painted in 1851, over 70 years after the event, Leutze captured the essence of American resilience and the indomitable spirit of its founding fathers. The backdrop for this iconic moment is the American Revolution, a war fought between 1775 and 1783, as 13 North American colonies sought independence from British rule. A struggle between the forces of liberty and tyranny, the Revolution was a time of great peril and uncertainty. It was in this crucible of chaos that General Washington's crossing of the Delaware River took on such immense significance. In the winter of 1776, the Continental Army had suffered a series of devastating defeats, demoralizing the troops and leading many to question the feasibility of victory. As the year drew to a close, Washington faced a desperate situation. In a bold move to revive his army's flagging spirits and seize the initiative, he decided to cross the treacherous, ice-choked Delaware River and surprise the British Allied Hessian forces in Trenton, New Jersey. Leutze's depiction of this audacious gamble is not just a snapshot of a single event, but an embodiment of the broader struggle for liberty that defined the American Revolution. The composition of the oil painting is structured to guide the viewer's eye through the scene. The masterful use of light and color serves to both dramatize the scene and emphasize the heroism of the protagonists. The diagonal lines created by the oars, flagpole, and boat all converge on Washington, establishing him as the focal point and drawing our attention to his commanding presence. This compositional choice highlights Washington's role as the leader and the driving force behind the American Revolution, a man whose determination and courage would shape the destiny of a nation. Surrounding Washington, we see the faces of his soldiers, each conveying their own emotions, ranging from steely determination to quiet apprehension. This rich tapestry of human emotion invites us to consider the individual stories and sacrifices of the men who fought for the cause of freedom. The dark, turbulent waters and stormy skies contrast sharply with the golden light that illuminates Washington and his steadfast soldiers. This chiaroscuro effect, a hallmark of the Romantic movement, lends a theatrical quality to the scene, further accentuating the heroism of Washington and his troops. The painting is rich in symbolism, starting with the flag held aloft by the soldiers at the stern, serves as a potent representation of the fledgling nation's unity and resolve, its stars and stripes standing as a symbol of hope in the face of adversity. The inclusion of diverse figures among the troops, such as the African-American soldier and the man in a Scottish bonnet, underscores the idea that the struggle for independence was a collective endeavor, transcending boundaries of race and nationality. Leutze's depiction of Washington embodies the quintessential qualities of a leader: courage, determination, and a steadfast commitment to the cause. The general's unwavering gaze toward the distant shore represents not only his focus on the task at hand, but also the broader vision of a future defined by liberty and self-governance. In capturing this moment, Leutze invites us to reflect on the powerful ideals and principles that guided the actions of Washington and his fellow revolutionaries, and to consider the role of these ideals in shaping the American story. Emmanuel Leutze faced numerous challenges in creating this masterpiece, both geographically and temporarily. Working in Germany, far from the actual site of the event, he faced the challenge of accurately portraying the details of the scene without direct access to the location or first-hand accounts from those who were present. To overcome this, Leutze relied on sketches, descriptions, and his own imagination to recreate the scene as accurately as possible. He conducted extensive research, poring over historical documents and consulting with experts on the period to ensure that his portrayal of the uniforms, weapons, and other accoutrements of the soldiers were true to life. This meticulous attention to detail lends a sense of authenticity to the scene, allowing viewers to feel as though they are witnessing the events firsthand. His artistic technique also presented challenges in the creation of the painting. He employed a technique known as glazing, which involves the application of multiple thin layers of transparent paint to create depth, luminosity, and a sense of atmosphere in the work. This process, which required a great deal of skill and patience, injects the painting with a sense of vitality and movement that captures the urgency of the event. The delicate balance between preserving the accuracy of the historical details and imbuing the scene with the emotional intensity characteristic of Romanticism required a masterful command of both technique and subject matter. In addition to these artistic challenges, Leutze also grappled with the practical constraints of creating such a monumental work. The sheer size of the canvas, measuring over 12 feet high by 21 feet wide, required a large studio space and the physical stamina to work on the painting for extended periods. The Romantic movement, a prominent artistic, literary, and intellectual movement of the late 18th and early 19th centuries, played a significant role in shaping Emmanuel Leutze's artistic approach. This movement, which emphasized emotion, individualism, and a reverence for the natural world, profoundly influenced Leutze's stylistic choices and thematic elements in the painting. Romanticism arose as a reaction against the rationalism and order of the Enlightenment and the neoclassical art that dominated the era. It championed the expression of emotions, the individual's subjective experience, and the power of the imagination. Romantic artists such as Théodore Géricault, Eugène Delacroix, and Caspar David Friedrich showcased dramatic scenes, bold use of color, and a focus on the sublime aspects of nature. Leutze presents the subjects as heroic figures, idealizing their nobility and self-sacrifice beyond the gritty reality of warfare. The dramatic lighting and heightened emotions evident in the painting are also characteristic of Romanticism. The stark contrast between the dark, stormy skies and the golden light illuminating the central figures creates a sense of tension and drama, heightening the emotional impact of the scene. This manipulation of light and shadow can be seen as reminiscent of the works of Delacroix, who was known for his expressive use of color and light to convey emotion and atmosphere. The grandeur of nature plays a significant role in Leutze's paintings, reflecting the romantic belief in the sublime, the awe-inspiring power and beauty of the natural world. This depiction is akin to the works of Caspar David Friedrich, who often depicted vast, dramatic landscapes that evoked feelings of awe and transcendence. Leutze began his first version in 1849, but it was damaged by fire in his studio in 1850. Although restored and acquired by the Bremen Kunsthal, it was destroyed again in a World War II bombing raid in 1942. Undeterred, Leutze started a second version of the painting in 1850. Upon its completion, it was met with widespread acclaim, both in Europe and the United States, as it struck a chord with audiences and became a potent symbol of American nationalism. The painting was then placed on exhibition in New York during October of 1851, which attracted the attention of Marshall O. Roberts, who purchased it for $10,000, equivalent to approximately $360,000 in 2023. It was then purchased by John Stuart Kennedy for $16,100 in 1897 and donated to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Over time, the painting began to show signs of deterioration and its colors started to fade. A comprehensive restoration effort was undertaken in the 20th century, with conservators meticulously cleaning, repairing, and stabilizing the artwork to ensure its longevity. Today, the painting hangs in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where it continues to captivate viewers with its dramatic portrayal of a pivotal moment in American history. Its enduring legacy is evident in its presence across popular culture, appearing in various forms of media, from books to television, and even inspiring parodies. Leutze's work has been reproduced on postage stamps, adapted into illustrations for children's books, and used as a backdrop for political campaigns. In each of these instances, the painting's powerful imagery serves as a reminder of the courage and tenacity of the men who fought for freedom, reinforcing its significance as an iconic symbol of the American spirit and the struggle for independence. As we stand before this masterpiece, we are reminded of the power of art to transcend time and space, connecting us with the past and shaping our understanding of the world around us. And in that connection, we find a renewed appreciation for the courage, determination, and vision that have defined the American experience.